Hey everybody, my name is Jofu, and in this video series, I'm going to walk through the A through Z of what I would do personally if I had to start an AI agency all over from scratch, not knowing a single thing about AI, Chat GPT, Claude, Anthropic, Llama 3, Midjourney 5, 27, freaking Perplexity, any of these tools, Make, Zapier, SmartSuite, ClickUp, GHL, any of this stuff. I don't know nothing. Okay, we don't know nothing. We're starting from scratch. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go and we're gonna learn how to do stuff. So like, I want you to watch this video. I want you to understand that you are an AI agency owner now, which means that you're going to learn stuff, but you're not going to spend the next 3 months learning how to make a make automation that in 3 months it's going to be not worth a damn anyways. Okay, so if you're watching this in 3 months, watch my new video on the new stuff that's come out, right? Because in 3 months, shit's gonna change so much that it's not gonna matter anymore, right? I mean, like there's gonna be new ways to automate, new tools, and new best practices, right? So step one, if you watch this video, hey, my name is Jofu. I am the co-owner of Webforge Development, where we make really cool shit on the internet, and I help people get shit done. All right, that's just my MO. I don't have anything special to share with you outside of how to get shit done. So in this video, we're going to talk about a few things. I'm going to go over the broad scope of how I would get started. And then in the following videos, we'll get very granular and we'll talk about specific tools, structures, systems that I would implement, priorities, how to hire developers, etc., and how I would do it and get money and scale, right? So the first thing we need to talk about is finding your passion. So if you're just starting your AI journey and you're like, hey, this AI thing is cool. I want to learn how to do this so I can add a side business, so I can add a main business or whatever it is. It may be daunting. And the reason why it is because if you're actually in the AI space, we realize how fast things change. Every single week, there seems to be a new tool, especially, man, like we talk about Clay and how advanced it was. And now we have Lead Picker, and now we have these other like Persona and these other tools that are doing the same thing. And who knows, whenever Chat GPT 5 comes out, that's probably just going to revolutionize the way we do things already. So like, if you're not like paying attention to these things on a daily basis, it may feel like that you're like getting behind on all the stuff. Well, luckily for you, most people aren't even, if you're watching this video, you're like already in the top echelon of people who are like at least interested in AI and how to use it and actually make money from doing it. A lot of people will use ChatGPT very poorly and on making reports and emails and stuff like that, which is great, awesome. We're trying to figure out how to actually automate ChatGPT, Claude, and all these tools so that we can actually make a business out of this. If you're a business owner, so what you want to do is actually reduce costs or remove friction from your business so that we can make more money, or lower costs, which means that we make more money, right? We just want to have less friction so we can have better scale. So we'll start there. The first thing we want to do is talk about what we're passionate about and what we're actually good at right now. So I love jujitsu. Okay, I don't like running. Running is not my favorite thing. Matter of fact, my feet hurt all the time. So if I were to like pick a niche right now, if I had to pick between the two things, I would probably pick jiu-jitsu. I know infinitely more about jiu-jitsu than I do about running. If I were to start a business right now, it would be a lot easier for me to find out a niche, an ICP for a jiu-jitsu gi, for a jiu-jitsu rash guard, some kind of tool for preventing knee injuries, for preventing neck cranks. There's like already in my head, just thinking about this right now, impromptu. I'm just already thinking of different things. If I had to create a business right now around jiu-jitsu, what I would do. Matter of fact, if I wanted to start a new school, I would actually start a school on school.com about jiu-jitsu and preventing injuries and different techniques and whatnot. And I would just kind of grow a community, even though I'm not like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm a purple belt. Hopefully I'll have a brown belt soon. But I've been training for, roughly almost 8 years now. So I know enough to like be a part of a community and help grow a community, right? So I could do that feasibly. If you know something about something, right? If you're like interested, if you're a nerd about something, whether it be fish tanks, whether it be taxidermy, I don't know, skiing, like let's start thinking about, okay, if I were to make a product right now, and we don't have to like go too deep into this process, but like if I were to make a product right now, it's a lot easier, a lot less friction for me to make a product for something that I already know a lot about. Okay. So we'll get into this like very deep. We'll probably do a very boring video about ICP. And while that's important and how we find that person very exactly, and we actually have in school, in my school community, Founders Forge, we actually have a course on finding your ICP and how to find that and do the cold outreach and all that stuff. The link should be down below for that if you're interested in that. But in this video, so we find our ICP, we find out what we're very passionate about. Now let's start talking about like what tools are we going to look at and what tools are we going to actually spend time to develop and, so we can actually make money. So let's think about this for 1 second. Okay. So if your idea, and this is okay if you want to do this, if your idea is to actually just get work, you want to be a freelancer and you want to be basically an employee that's part-time, so you can go on Fiverr or Upwork and make a few hundred extra bucks to a few $1,000s a month, which is amazing. On those platforms, then you learn a tool, get very good at a tool, whether it be go high level or whether it be SmartSuite, whether it be what's another tool we can look at, or make using an automation tool, like using something like that, and just learn a tool and just getting very good at it. Voice flow for chatbots, mini chat. There's a bunch of tools that you can get very, very good at and make a decent amount of money. The problem with that is you're competing with everybody else who is make.com to make automations, and they're on Upwork and they're trying to, they are lowballing crazily to get work on Upwork, which is fine. If you want to go that route, that's one way to do it. You can also make a business in one of these tools as well, but we'll get to that in a minute. The other part of you who actually want to be an agency owner. So if we're an agency, we are actually we're removing friction for a business. So if you're familiar with the SMMA, so the social media marketing agency, what you do there is for businesses who don't want to learn marketing, okay, they hire a marketing agency. The social media part of it is for people who don't want to learn Facebook ads. And look, Facebook ads, you can learn them very fast, but they change all the time. Like right now, I'm reading on the forums how Facebook ads are tanking. So guess what? You probably want somebody who can actually audit your Facebook ads, unless you have a lot of time to do that. And if you're a business owner, you probably don't want to do that. So I'll hire a guy whose sole job is to like learn about social media ads. Like, great, sounds good to me. Well, you, my friend, are that AI person. Your job, okay, is to find businesses who want your product. Okay, they want to remove friction. They want to remove friction from their business using AI. Now, quick tip: you don't have to say anything about AI. Okay, the word AI doesn't matter. All the businesses care about is what outcome, what's that dream outcome that you are going to be able to provide to them that you can do. They don't care if you do it, if AI does it, if you have your little cousin doing their website and making it the SEO all great. They don't care. As a business owner, they just want to make sure that the business is functioning correctly and they're making money. That's their job. That's their whole purpose. So if they can pay you and you use your magic AI dust, okay, to make their business run better, then that's all they give a shit about. That's all they care about. Just give them your magic AI dust. You don't have to say, oh, we're using the power of AI. No, just tell them like, hey, like we're going to reduce your business expenses by 47%, and this is how we're going to do it. And, ABCD. This is the pain point, and this is how we're going to solve that pain point, right? And we'll actually go into how to go about those sales processes as well, and identifying pain points and all that stuff in this process. All right. So I'll say all that to say this. There are so many tools and they change so much. Your job as the AI agency is to learn about these tools and how to implement them and how you would actually use them in businesses, but you don't actually have to know how to use every single one of these tools like the back of your hand. We do a lot of voice flow builds, and what I do is I hire out voice flow devs, and I have enough tools to where, and I've also interviewed over 100 voice flow devs. So now that I know a lot about voice flow, I know how they work, I know how they function, I know how the developers scope out their work and how they price it. So I'm able to go into an interview with these developers and talk to them and be able to say, okay, look, you said this is going to take 2 days. I know for a fact that this is only going to it would take me 30 minutes. Okay, so why is it going to take you 2 days? Being able to look at a scope of work, looking at a task list, looking at the entire project and saying, okay, let's actually scope this thing out. Let's send a proposal. And I know it's going to take this much time. So your job, just to bring it back just a little bit, is to learn about these tools, but don't spend the next 3 months learning about these tools and having a failure to launch. Like, go watch some videos, okay, on Make. Go watch some videos on Zapier. Go watch some videos on Midjourney and Chat GPT and learn how all these things work together. Go play around with them. But give yourself time and say, like, okay, for the next 2 days, 3 days, I'm going to mess with these tools. All right. And I'm going to see how they function. And then I'm going to think about, as a business owner, as my, like, if I have my niche, I'm going to know what problems they need solved. So as you're playing with these tools, I'm going to say, okay, I can use Make to create an automation so that the dog groomer can create 30 LinkedIn posts in a matter of 30 minutes, instead of spending 2 hours every night, like a lot of people do, creating LinkedIn posts so they can stay relevant, right? Because they're trying to scale their business, they're trying to scale their dog grooming services, and they're trying to do a dog grooming course online, so they have to play the social media game. All right, so we're going to create a Make automation to help that groomer create their LinkedIn posts, right? And it's a very specific type of grooming for a very specific type of dog. Like, right, we can get as granular as we want with these type of things. Okay, cool. So we're 12 minutes into the video. Hey, everybody who's still here. And if you're here, you're my type of people. So these videos will be long-winded, and I'm a very long-winded person, but I promise that by the end of this stuff, you'll come out with a lot more knowledge than you did before. Okay, so in the vein of learning, so we're going to learn a few tools. The other very important thing is to join some communities. You can join our community, which is a paid community, but there's also a lot of free AI communities out there. There's also a lot of automation communities out there on School and Kajabi, all over the internet, that you can actually join. Facebook groups you can join to learn about this stuff. Now, what is your goal in here? Well, when you join these communities, your job is to actually become a very important person in these groups. You want to start giving information as you learn them. You want to start helping out as much as you can, and you want to start learning as much as you can. You want to join as many sales calls coaching calls. You want to join as many coaching calls, and you want to join as many community calls as you possibly can, so you can make connections and learn about different people's pain points and what they're actually digging into. All right. So as we do that, we're actually learning what other people are having issues with and what they're actually the solutions they're actually implementing as well. So our learning tools, we're joining communities, all right, and then we're also thinking about who our ICP is. The whole time we're doing that, we're actually building our online presence. So you're going to pick a platform. I would pick one or two. You can either pick LinkedIn, like I did. You can pick Twitter or X or Instagram, Threads. You can pick the bingo hall. I don't care what it is, but pick one and figure out what type of content that place enjoys. So for LinkedIn, it's going to, there's a bunch of videos online about how LinkedIn content is there. And if you want, I can actually do a Claude video on how I use Claude to help me generate posts. But I should do a live video on LinkedIn now, which is kind of what forced my hand into doing YouTube videos. Longer form, I like talking. As you can tell, we're probably 12 or 13 minutes into this video, and we'll go for a little bit longer. But we're going to build our presence. And why is this important? Well, like long term, and as with this YouTube channel, hopefully long term, we have, by the time you're watching this, 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, and we're going to create a funnel of people who find us on the internet from knowing us. Now, there's something called the 7-4-11 rule. And this is something that Google researched, and the reason why it's called 7-4-11 is because they've determined that as people trust people less on the internet, right? They need more exposure in different ways to that person so that they can actually trust them enough to buy things from them. So we do high ticket. The lowest thing we sell is usually about $3,500 per month. So in order to sell somebody on that, they need to spend a lot of time with me. All right. So they need to spend enough time so they're like, okay, I trust Jofu enough to give him $3,500 of my money, or at least half of that, right? We take half down. So at least give him, $1,750. Is that right? The math right? Yep. Of that money, right? To start my chatbot, to start my service, so that so I can get the desired outcome, right? So what Google has said is people need 7 hours of FaceTime, okay, across 4 different locations and 11 touch points. So the locations could be like all on LinkedIn, but it'd be like LinkedIn and then like a LinkedIn event by another person. And then like 2 other people have shared my LinkedIn post. It can be on the same platform or just 4 different ways, right? Or it could be, you see me on YouTube, you see me on YouTube Shorts, you see me on X, and then you see me on a podcast, right? Like there's different ways you can kind of see that person and it count as a different outlet. And then you need to do it 11 times. So a lot of sales funnels now actually go to people's YouTube channels so that you can spend more time with them. Matter of fact, if you came here, like in the future, we're probably going to have this as a funnel, because it's probably a 20-minute video and it just gives you 20 more minutes of like getting to know me. So that you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to join this guy's school community, or I'm going to buy a chatbot from this guy because I trust him. The shit he's saying resonates with me and it makes sense. Like I trust that guy, and that's why we're making this content, right? Like we're truly transparent. That's one of the things that we're pretty serious about, is being transparent. And I'll tell you now, and I think you should do the same. It's as we're getting into this era of personal branding, I think everybody should have some kind of face on the internet, and it's becoming more and more transparent. Now, this is not that video, although I did spend a few minutes talking about that. But yeah, let's build your brand. All right. Create a LinkedIn, X, whatever platform you prefer the most. And if you do Instagram, we'll probably do a video on how to use ManyChat to actually help automate some of the outbound, and we'll get into that later. Not a big deal. What else do we have for this video? Let's see. Okay, great. So we've done all these things. We've found our ICP / our niche. We've learned we learned how to use different tools such as Chat GPT and Make and all this stuff. And we also, along with that, joined some school communities. We joined the Founders Forge with Jofu, and we learned about the Jofu method and all the stuff that Ben teaches about AI mastery, and all the stuff that James teaches about prioritization, right? So now we're actually at the part where we need to start thinking about what services we're going to offer. We'll go into some more detail, but let's say that we want to do automations. All right. So we want to use Make to create automations for businesses to help reduce their time they spend on customers, emails, or even like using VoiceFlow to reduce the amount of customer service, level 1 customer service tickets they have to deal with, right? Very easy. Well, you've learned about VoiceFlow, but you don't want to actually go in and do all of the coding for VoiceFlow. So what do? Well, as an agency owner, as I mentioned earlier, as an agency owner, you're going to hire a developer to do this for you. So when we actually, so you need to know enough to sell this service. You need to know enough about VoiceFlow to sell the service of VoiceFlow, know what it can do and what it cannot do. And that's very important for all these tools. You need to understand what Make can do, what Zapier can do, and what it cannot do before you sell these things. You don't need to know this for all these tools, just the ones that you're like, okay, I'm going to sell these tools, and this is what I can and cannot do. If you ever have a question about like what this can and cannot do, you can ask me in the school community. And if you're already in a different school community, like I mentioned earlier, like there's a bunch of free ones that are really awesome online. Go ask them, like, hey, can Make do this thing? Can it interface with WhatsApp? Can it interface with Instagram and Facebook? Can it interface with all these other things? Like ask people questions, right, and get that answer. And then that's another way of networking as well, right? Cool. So now we're gonna go to Fiverr or to Upwork, and we're gonna put out our job posting. So skip the part where you actually found leads, and sorry, I skipped the part where you find leads online. We'll get into that in another video. But you'll start posting, either it's running ads or on your LinkedIn. You'll start saying, hey, we're offering the service. We're looking for somebody to give us a testimonial. So if anybody wants a free chatbot, et cetera, hey, come find our service. Or if you're like us. Okay, so I skipped the part where you actually got the client. So we'll go into that in another video in detail. But let's just say along the way of learning in our school communities, you found somebody who said, hey, Jofu, I really like the videos you did. All right, cool. So we learned all these tools and we learned how to use Make, Zapier, and all these things. The other thing you need to do is start documenting these things. So we picked a platform, we picked Instagram, we picked LinkedIn, where it was. So now we're at the part where we're going to start making some cool stuff. We're just going to follow some videos. We're going to go on YouTube and follow the videos step by step. And then what we're going to do, the best way to learn is to teach. So you are going to recreate some of these videos. There's templates on our school. There's templates online and in different communities. And you're going to use those templates to recreate what was created in that video. or find an automation that you need personally in your life and create that and make a video about it. Now, here's the tip. Don't take too long. Like literally don't worry about it. You just need enough social proof and also social proof for yourself. So you can say, hey, this is how I can make this thing. I actually made this chatbot. I know how it works. And actually I can start making some demos now. If you really want to, what we do is we'll go to a website and we'll actually find a client, like one of our ICPs, and we'll make a demo for them. We'll like make a full blown demo. We'll copy their website. We'll actually put it into voice flow, and we'll make something that's like really cool, bespoke for them. Worst case scenario, if they don't like it, then what we'll do is next time we want to, send it to another client, we'll just reskin it, right? We'll reskin it, put a different logo on it, but we'll stay in that same niche so that the actual demo we made still makes sense. We'll just change some names, change some colors, and voila, it's done, right? So templatizing a lot of these demos is super important. All right, so once we make this demo, we create a YouTube video or LinkedIn video, Instagram, whatever it is. Now we're on the part where we're actually going to, and this is something we're going to get into very deeply in school, and we'll go here as well. I won't share the exact templates here. That's more for the school community, but I'll actually show how I use Chat GPT on this channel to create scopes of work and the entire product management scope of my work, where we make task lists, scopes of work, proposals, etc., so that whenever we do get leads and we actually get them interested in working with us, we can actually make a proposal. We can make scopes of work so they know exactly what they're getting. We can make a communication guideline so they know when they're going to be, what communication they can expect, how long they can expect this thing to take, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is the part where I really enjoy doing. I love interviewing people. So it's something that I think I found recently that I really enjoy. I went through over 140 interviews last year for looking for work. That was, it was a very draining experience, but I learned a lot about interviewing and the interview process. So why am I bringing this up? Well, as an AI agency owner, right? One of the things that you're going to have to do is delegate tasks. If you actually want to scale your business and grow your business, you're going to have to learn the skill of actually interviewing these developers. And we'll go through this as well in detail on how to interview developers, asking them the very important questions, make sure they're not BSing you. A lot of times you'll talk to somebody and you'll give them a price of like, hey, this chatbot's going to cost X amount of thousands of dollars. And they're going to say, man, I can just go to Fiverr and get this chatbot for $500 or cheaper. And a few weeks later, they're going to say, man, that didn't really work out. That I've just seen it so many times. There's some amazing developers on Fiverr and Upwork. We use them, and I'll teach you how to actually sift through those, how to sift through all those and find like the diamonds in the rough, okay? And how to interview them, what questions to ask, what to look out for, et cetera, et cetera. All right, great. So we're going to do that, and then we're actually going to learn how to price things. So with that being said, when we actually get the job, we're going to get half up front. And the reason why we get half up front is because we're a cash positive business. So as an agency, we don't start any work, never. Okay, promise me you'll never start work until you get paid, unless you're doing something like where you're like, hey, I need a demo, I need proof of concept, I need a testimonial, so I'm doing this for free. That's fine, but that's the only time you do stuff for free. Outside of that, you get the money first, and you make it very clear when they can expect to hear from you and when you expect to get paid again. Generally, for like a chatbot, we'll do half and half. We'll just do like half to get started, and a few days later, when we actually finish, we'll take the other half. After they're happy with the chatbot and we have acceptance criteria, everybody signs off on it, and it's all done. Right? Cool, awesome. But we're as cash positive companies, we are never ever going to get back together. No, we're never. Sorry, we are never going to start a job until we have cash to pay for the job, so that we can actually go out and hire developers. Now, what I usually do is, if I know a job's in the pipeline, I'll actually start interviewing developers prior to actually getting work, just so I can have like a Rolodex of 10 or 20, so that once I actually get the full scope of work, I can say, okay, these are the 3 or 4 that I actually want for this particular job. All right. And we'll go into that as well in detail. Awesome. So we hired a developer. The developer did amazing. And now we need to collect our cash, right? So we collected our cash from our business, and then we actually are going to do one of the most important things we can do, and we're going to do a customer feedback form, and we're going to actually ask the customer, hey, how was my service? What could I do better? If they don't want to give you anything, like offer like, hey, I'll give you $500 back if you just tell me, like, answer these questions. You know, how do we do? What could we improve? What part were you excited about? What part, you know, you're let down by? And you do this every time, every single job. You have a process, you have automation of some sort to where we're talking to the customer and making sure that, you know, because as our customer, we want to make them super happy. If they're any less than 10 out of 10 excited, you want to figure out like, how can we get to that 10 out of 10? What would have made it so much better of an experience for them if you did X, Y, or Z. All right. So that's and as we do that, and I'll probably do this with this YouTube channel, like, hey, what can I do? What can I improve? And I'll probably pull people aside, like, hey, what can I do to improve to make the channel better? Right. As your client, they're the best person to give you the results of, hey, what can I have done better? Right. And sometimes it's BS, sometimes, but you still need to be able to filter that stuff and figure out, hey, this is what I can actually use to make my business better. All right. So finally, we're at the part where, okay, cool. So finally, we're at the part where we're going to actually take a step back and figure out, we did our first job, we got our client, we got paid, we're doing more stuff, we're doing more advertising, we're doing more, we're getting more leads, we're hiring more developers, and we're actually getting going, right? But now we need to hire a VA, we need to hire a chief of, and now we need to hire somebody for operations, we need to hire different developers, we need to hire graphic designers, et cetera, and things are starting to slow down because we're having to take our time and hire all these people. This is the part where we're going to actually go more into detail on how to scale, how to make scopes of work, how to use Loom to make scopes of work for everything. We use Loom constantly as a communication platform, and I'll go into very, very detail on how we actually have a database of Looms and how we use Looms to actually scale our business. So whenever we hire somebody new, if there's something they need to be trained on, we can actually just send them a Loom and have an entire system to where they can say, okay, I learned this task, and here's me doing this task over and over again. All right, cool. If you've stayed this far in this video, thank you. I appreciate it. I will be doing so if you stayed this far in this video, thank you. I really appreciate it. We will be doing more of these videos where step one is finding your ICP. We'll go into great detail about how to find your ICP, why that's important, how I do it. We'll even talk about the Jofu method that I teach intensively in school. And we'll probably talk about like the entire process of that and why it works a little more in the next video. And then again, we'll just go step by step through the entire process I just laid out, and until we get finished. And as as the videos come out, if you have suggestions on what we should talk about and automations you want to see, tools you want to talk about, I'm a nerd for tools, so as tools come out, I'll probably stop this series for 1 or 2 to talk about new tools that come out that people are excited to talk about and how we're going to use them in our business. Cool. All right. Well, I greatly appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the journey. If you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, or if you really, really like this, hit that school button and come join us there. All right. Hope you have an amazing day. Peace out.